I wanted to make this video specifically about my preparation in regard to the Chico photo review. So when I was accepted last year in 2023, I declined the invitation because I didn't think that I could come up with the money. Hi Dave, this is Brian Burks. I don't know if you remember me, but I took your birthday photos last summer. I was speaking with your daughter Mandy, and I was wanting to come back there. I remember taking some photos in that garage in your backyard, and I'm still working on this car project, and I was just wondering. And that whole last year, I just felt like I was kind of turning my wheels and not very determined to progress with the project that I've been working on, Articles of Virtue. So I felt like last year was a little bit of a waste in terms of the project. Now, I did okay with YouTube and I did okay with assignments, and I was proud of the work that I did with those, but it left a lot to be desired in terms of pushing forward with my personal project. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Brian. I knew I was going to come back. I have to put in that old Pontiac.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to get back there. You'll probably come whenever I just walked out of there.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad it's a little bit warmer today. Yeah. I was all bundled up, ready to go, though. Yeah. I was wanting to take a peek. I just remember being in there and I saw some cool stuff, and then also in this guy too. Oh, okay. I was just wanting to take a look around. I knew I kind of left last time, and I feel like there was just something else there maybe that.
I know how it goes.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave no stone unturned. Is it okay if I move this guy?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's okay.
Whenever I took it apart, well, what it was is the lifters were clattering.
Was the what?
The lifters, they were clattering, so I ended up, I didn't know for sure if it was, oil pressure was bad, because it was only getting about, starting up at about 30 pounds, and then after a while, if you let it idle go down.
He died,
pretty darn low,
and they cleaned house.
20s, I guess.
And his son said, Dave, you might as well have this. So he ends up giving it to me. His name was Arlen Kiefer, and that was one of his cars that he had. It was just something he was going to fix up, and he ended up selling it. Got some stuff you're going to be doing then?
Yeah, I have I'm actually going to Montana for it's like a kind of a retreat, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it's with some photographers that I look up to and some of my peers, and you like submit work and then you get accepted, and then you're invited to go, and you're there for 5 or 6 days, and they kind of go over all the work that you're making, and do a little review. So I've been trying to, I have all this old work, and then I've been trying to like reach out to people that I've met up with in the past and try to get some new work, some more detail stuff. Okay. Because I have a bunch of portraits, I have a bunch of landscape stuff, but I feel like I need more minute details. That's why I was like, I know there's at least one photo in here, so I had to come back and try to find it. One of the things that was in my head was just going into this with a completely open mind. Having any crutches or anything that might hold me back, recognizing those and trying to fix them or alleviate them before I get to Chico. And the first thing was being able to take criticism, which I used to be terrible at. Anytime someone would leave a comment on YouTube that was remotely negative, I would get all butthurt and I would be an asshole and reply back to them. And a lot of the time they were saying things that were probably true. And they may have said it in a negative or curt way, but almost all comments like that have a little bit of truth in them, and it's up to you to recognize when it's coming from a good place. And most of the time with YouTube, negative comments, it's not coming from a good place, but I would always act out and be a douche back to them, and I would never learn how to take criticism like that. So going into this, I knew that I would have to reach out to some people that I trust, people that I know would give me criticism in a good way. And I've been doing that for the past couple weeks. I met with Ian Edward White for probably 3 hours. We sat down via Zoom and talked about his work, talked about my work. He also got invited to Chico. So it was nice to have someone of his caliber, since he's a professor in Tennessee. He teaches photography. So he's very good at getting his ideas out and being able to critique someone in a positive way. Going into Chico, knowing that I'm going to have to sit down in front of a Todd Hido or a Tim Carpenter or someone like that, I'm going to need to know that I can accept what they say if it's negative, and be able to take that and know in my heart that they're saying those things because they want to see me progress and succeed in my photography. A lot of the talks that I have with people have not only given me valuable insight in my photography, but also my personal life. And this is a benefit of just sitting down and talking about anything for a long length of time. But when you talk about work like this and questions come up as to why you're photographing old men, why you're photographing cars, why you're taking photos of grain bins in the Midwest, you have to dig a little bit deeper, because if I go up to someone and say, this project's about classic cars and their owners, they're going to say, okay, what else? What else is it about? Why are you drawn to cars? Why are you drawn to these older men? And really having to think about that and sit there in your thoughts and really hash it out, I think is an important step in becoming a better photographer, but also becoming a better person, because through this process, I've realized a lot about myself and a lot of downfalls that I have as a person. And one of those is not only not being able to take criticism very well, but also just the idea that I like to play the victim a lot. And when I say that, it isn't the best thing to put out in the world, but these are the things that come up when you're speaking about this. And you might not think that it is connected to your artistry or your photographic work, but all of this stuff that is inside of you and all your positives and negatives as a person are going to affect you when you go out to make work, or really anything that you do artistically or creatively. But I realized that pretty early on, that I play the victim. I think everyone has it easier than me. It's harder for me to do things. It's harder for me to get recognized or get my name out there. And it's this victim mindset and this negative energy mindset that has really held me back in making work. And when you recognize that, you can start to work on it, and you can start to manifest different energy that will allow you to make the best work possible. So that's what I've been trying to do. And I realize in previous videos and previous times where I've spoken on things like this, I always say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but a lot of the time I would do it, but I wouldn't continue to do it where it becomes second nature. I would just do it a little while. It would work. I would see positive results, and then I would go back to my normal habits. But going into Chico, I wanted to be completely open, completely vulnerable, and I wanted to have all that stuff laid out and out of the way so I would be able to take as much advice and different thoughts and ideas from people to better myself. And I've made a lot of work since the last time that we've spoken. I went out with Carl to Louisiana, Missouri. And a lot of this is just meeting with like-minded people. And Carl is a very close friend of mine, and he's able to look at work and speak on work and provide valuable insight, which I really respect. And when I hang out with him, when I hang out with someone that's trying to do the same thing as me, it's very inspirational, and it gets me in this positive headspace. So hanging out with him, I made some work for the project, but nothing that really stuck. And I've been going out a lot to a lot of different towns and really trying to narrow down exactly what I want this world to look like when I am finished with this project and when it is eventually in book form. And I've realized a lot of it has to do with the passing of my father. And that's why I'm drawn to photographing older men. And I also want to showcase where I'm from, the American Midwest. A lot of the things that I photograph is either things from my past or things that they feel close to my heart because that's where I'm from. And I feel like the Midwest kind of gets overlooked in a way, and I want to showcase exactly what I see on an everyday basis. And when I drive across that bridge over to Illinois, it reminds me of places that I used to see as a kid and places where I came from. So it's looking at all of that and trying to encapsulate that into 40, 50, 60 photos that will eventually go into a book. It's just a lot when you sit down and actually think about why you're doing things. And it's very hard and it's very new to me, but it's exciting as well because the past 4 years that I've been doing this, I've been going by instinct, and I've just been seeing things and doing my own thing and trying to replicate images. But now when you have your own ideas and you have your own thoughts and you want to make stuff that identifies with yourself and not something that you see online, it's very liberating. And it definitely makes me look forward to making more work for this. And I don't know if I'll see you guys before Chico. If I don't, I'm looking forward to telling you all about the experience. But yeah, check out Baltimore Photospace. It's a small shop in Baltimore, obviously, but it's run by good people, and they care about the community. They care about photography, and it shows in the way that they run their business. And yeah, that's all I got to say. I'll see you in the next one.